What's up, everybody? Yes, indeed, man. I'm back from my vacation, the vacation of drama, people. Well, anyways, people, um, this is a fitness channel with a twist. And what I mean by that is I always start off talking about fitness and nutrition and overall health in general. And then I end in a story, a little bit of storytelling. Or I'll elaborate on something that was asked of me, something that's been going on in the YouTube yada. And someone had brought it to my attention about some Mohawk guy. I, I I recognized the face. I didn't recognize the name, but I recognized the face because they shot me an interview that was done by another guy, some soft white underbelly or whatever his name is. You know, some dude that's big on YouTube. But anyways, yeah, I recognized the face, and I just heard a little bit about the story he was talking about, and it sounds like someone's putting a little bit too much salsa on the taco. Well, anyways, people, I'll get to talking on that tomorrow, man. But today I am gonna elaborate just a little bit on the drama in Nevada. Okay, there's drama everywhere, isn't there, people? You know what I mean? I guess, hey, when you look like me, it's like a magnet. You know what I mean? It's drawn to you. It is what it is. You know what I mean? That's just part of being stereotyped, I guess. You know, so. But anyways, people, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, put your notification bell and all. Let's get this channel up to 10,000 subscribers. Once we hit the 10,000 subscribers, we will start doing lives on a regular basis. We'll pick a designated day that works best for my audience. You know what I mean? I might just drop a couple a week, some lives, and like I said, all is welcome to pull up because this is a non-biased channel. I show love and respect to everybody and anybody that's out there. You know, all I want back in return is that same mutual energy that I give to you with that respect and love. You know what I mean? You don't have to show the love, but show the respect, because respect goes a long ways with me. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, people, this is a fitness channel. If you want to get started on your fitness, you know, shoot me a DM. As a matter of fact, go to my Instagram page. On my Instagram page, I have years of material there of me working out, hitting the gym at 2 a.m., never missing, 6 days a week, running. You know, every weekend I would hit 14 miles running, and I dropped it down to 7 because I was just losing way too much weight, and I didn't want to make no more adjustments in my nutrition, because as it is, I eat like anywhere from minimum 5 times a day. You know, to start eating more and bigger meals, I wasn't trying to do that. So I figured I would just cut back on my running. So, and that's why I came to what I do today is Sunday Run Day. Every Sunday I go out and do my 7-mile run, regardless, rain, shine, hail. I'm pulling up. I don't care. The weather's not going to keep me inside. You know, so. But yeah, if you want to get started on that fitness journey, shoot me a DM. It's High Power Fitness, high_power_fitness_, or you could email me at highpowerfitness@yahoo.com. Like I said, go check out my Instagram page. I have plenty of material authenticating who I am. I do have a blue check mark, and with that blue check mark shows authenticity, because you can't just apply for a blue check mark and they're going to give it to you. They have to see proof of who you are. Okay, not like that Mohawk guy. You know what I mean? That guy has a lot of people fooled on the life that he lived. He speaks of things that he's heard of from where he came from. And the reason is because when you speak of the 90s, doing time in the LA County Jail, it was the most racist place on earth. Guaranteed. I've shared my story with you guys many times. You know, I came in a certain way and I left with so much hatred towards certain people. But today, this day of age, I've changed. I've matured, and I've seen the reason why things were the way they were back then. I'm not too sure if they're still the same, but doing time in the 90s back then was very dangerous. And I'm going to keep it real and 100% with you guys. It was very dangerous for the whites and the paisas. I'm not here to sugarcoat shit for anybody, but it was very, very dangerous. So those of you that are into this modern day bullshit lie, like you're this perfect person that supports certain races, this and that, coming from my time, and if you've done time, hey, shit happened, man. You know what I mean? I'm not going to get into detail to that. You know what I mean? It was just survival of the fittest in that LA County jail. It was very treacherous, I could tell you that. And that individual, that Mr. Mohawk guy, he's not cut from that cloth, because right there, during them years, that's where woods were discovered. Only woods were able to walk that line. And anyone that's done time in them years knows exactly what I'm talking about. When they had them wet 40s, motherfuckers were getting their hands shook, their money took, their fucking shoes taken, everything and anything. I could tell you some stories about that LA County Jail off the hook. Some of the most treacherous stuff went on in them walls right there. You know, I've done time in a lot of different joints, you know, and there's nothing that's compared to what I've seen in the LA County Jail. Nah, nothing. Yeah, but, you know, people get blasted all the time in the joint, especially the joint that I was at up north. It was common, you know, but a lot of that stuff was, you know, you get blasted, boom. Sometimes it would be like resume normal program, you know what I mean? And for different reasons. I know some people speculate, well, what was it, a junkyard? No, it wasn't a junkyard, trust and believe. There was people right there that had a very, how should I say, very loud vocals that could be heard throughout the system that were walking around, you know what I mean? It was just strictly business and, you know, stuff that is none of anybody's motherfucking business out here in this real world. But anyways, people, with that being said, man, I'm gonna just give you a quick little glimpse, because right now I'm tired, you know what I mean? I just got in from Vegas, and I don't want to go dragging on too far, but I'm gonna ask the audience right now if you want to hear the drama that went on in Vegas, Laughlin, or do you want to hear me speak on Mr. Motherfucking Mohawk Dave, I think his name is. That dude with the fucking, his face looks like a fucking sketch pad. What kind of shit is that? Hey, right there, hey, anybody and everybody that's done time, when you see homies with these fucked up tats all over their bodies, those are straight fucking lames that were used as sketch pads. You know, homies used them to practice on them. They were real quick, oh yeah, you can draw on me here. Yeah, go ahead, let me do this. Because these fools were trying to, it's just, if you know, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's in every neighborhood, every race has a couple of them. Shit, more than a couple of them. There's handfuls of them motherfuckers, man. But it's a crazy shit. But anyways, people, that's just to bring me real quick. I'm going to tell you something right now. I actually stopped off in Arizona in a little town, okay? This little town was very unique. I found it intriguing, and I was like in awe. But I failed to realize the person that was walking around in this little town, this town probably only had a population of maybe a couple hundred people, right? For an individual that looks like me walking through their town, what do you think is going to happen? The locals that live there, you don't think it's going to draw attention to them? Seeing some cat like me wearing Ray-Bans with the slingshot on, you know what I mean? Crease down, Bonnaroo down, when I should have been pulling up on a motherfucking horse with a motherfucking 30-30 lever action rifle. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it real with you people, all right? It was like a little cowboy town, right? But you know the locals, man, they had to follow me to the restroom. Well, not necessarily the restroom. I'll trip out of this shit, man. Oh my God. I had to go use the restroom, man. I had to go fucking sit on the throne, you know what I mean, and send a huila. But unfortunately, here in this little town, the public restroom that I was using, you couldn't dump and drown, baby. I tell you that right now. There was no water running there. It was like a modern day fucking outhouse, straight up, and it was a trip. But anyways, the group obviously was reckless eyeballing me, you know what I mean. One thing I do gotta tip my hat to them, you know what I mean, because they could have came at me foul, but they obviously see me, you know, strolling around in their hood with my wife. So, you know, you can put two and two together, you know. There's still a tad bit of common sense out there. You know, things could have gotten bad if I were there by myself. You know, but out of every crowd, guaranteed there's going to be a person that is a person of intelligence that runs their crew. Let's just put it that way. But then you always have their knuckleheads that if they ain't guided by their mentor right there, or their superior, or however you guys want to put it, they could create something of havoc in an instant, you know. And like I said, no, I'm not trying to portray myself as being a tough guy. Oh, someone said that about me too, man. I go, hey, I'm gonna keep it real with you, G. That person that said, hey, you don't have to try to act like a tough guy behind the screen. I'm as tough as they come, baby. Real life, true life, real talk. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not out here pushing that. I'm out here pushing a good cause, you know. And you could take that however you want, whatever toughness you think I'm talking about, battle ready, or just being a tough guy in life. And that's the way I like to look at it. I never gave up on life, because the only time you fail in life and you get beat down in life is when you fall down and you stay down. So there's my definition of being tough, man, because I know where I came from. I know the trenches that I've been through. I know the stints that I've been through, the rock bottoms, my addictions, my vices, you know, from having nothing to having everything now. That's what I mean by me being a tough guy, because I never threw in the towel. Trust and believe. Doing life behind them walls for me would be much easier to do than doing life out here in the streets. This is where the real challenge is, people. Out here in the streets. Putting up day in, day out for your family. Being that person that your family could look up to. Hey, and I apologize, I did ramble on, huh? But yeah, so anyways, a little mild tension jumped off in the town that I was in. I don't want to say the town's name. If you guys know, you more than likely you know. But yeah, we had some supposed roughnecks reckless eyeballing me and kind of like, you know, following me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, obviously they're curious who in the fuck I am. You know what I mean? And then me, I'm an early bird, you know, so I'm there bright and early in the morning. Turns out this place where I was at happened to be somewhat of like a tourist spot. As far as myself, I just came across it. That's the way I stumble across things. I never really have anything pre-planned or anything. Like I said in the past, me and the wife, we just jump in our whip and we boogie, you know, wherever that road takes us. And, you know, some of the best discoveries that we've came across, man, we just stumbled across, you know, because we decide to take a shortcut, or maybe there's a backup on the freeway, so we decide to jump off and we take another road and we end up here, you know, just out of curiosity. The reason why we do these things, people, is because we're not pressed for time. We don't have to be anywhere anytime soon. You know what I mean? All of our children are raised. We have 5 boys, man, and they're all grown and they're all very productive in life, and they're all unique in their own way, you know. And trust and believe, none of my kids followed in my footsteps. I've been blessed in so many ways, you know. My homeboys, they see my kids, you know what I mean, and they trip, you know what I mean, because they're nothing like the way their dad used to be, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you could look at me and judge me and all that, but you know, once you get to know me, you see the person for who I really am. And it like I said, this social media has been a blessing for me, people. But yeah, so there was just a little mild drama, you know what I mean? If you want me to get into detail, let me know. If not, you know what I mean, I could go on and take you to further into my vacay when we hit Laughlin. Because an individual did pull up on me in a truck. I couldn't even see who it was. So, what's up, fool? What the fuck? What's this fool? Because, coming from my time, you call a fool a fool. You don't call a fool unless you know that fool. You feel me? I mean, you righteously have to know, because that's a form of disrespect for those of you that don't know. Now it's commonly used. What's up, fool? You know what I mean? But, doing time behind the walls and someone addresses you like that, that's pretty much like a put down. Coming from my time, like I said, those of you that are around my age group, you understand what I'm talking about. You younger cats may not know. I've learned to accept a lot of things that people say now as well. You know what I mean? I remember the first time when I got out not the first time, this last time when I had got out the joint, and I was at a particular place where I had how should I say, an establishment going, and one of my younger homies addressed me and called me a word. You know what I mean? And I cracked him. He's hey, what's up, dick? Hey, I didn't know that was a word. That's a new word of like saying, what's up, fool? You know what I mean? He said, what's up, dick? And I cracked him. I put tips on him. And then to find out, you know what I mean? Hey, that's all, man. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But you should really, before addressing people a certain way, get a feel for them first. You know what I mean? This was a homie that I didn't really know. You know what I mean? Younger homie, but yeah, maybe I should have. But I just acted on it. It is what it is, people. Well, anyways, this person likes to ramble on a lot. You know what I mean? So if you guys want to hear about the drama in Vegas or Laughlin, let me know. Or if you want me to talk on that fucking Mohawk Dave guy, let me know too, because that fucking dude's a straight up J-Cat. You know what I mean? He talks a good talk, but a lot of his shit has been fabricated and has a little bit too much motherfucking Louisiana hot sauce on there. If you know, you know. Or that Texas Pete, that shit that they sell at the Dollar Tree. We all know, I've tried that shit. Oh, vinegar fucking filled, nasty that shit. But anyways, you guys know what I'm getting at, right? Now, with that being said, if you want to get started in your fitness journey, shoot me that DM, highpowerfitness, _power_fitness_, or you could email me at highpowerfitness@yahoo.com. There ain't nothing to it but to do it, baby. Don't talk about it, be about it. Let's do this.